Okay, third down. This is usually the down that's set for going back and reviewing things. But I wanted to go back into UFC. I told you there's gonna be a lot of UFC in this podcast, but UFC, they had a fight night on Wednesday, March 13th. A lot of these fights were supposed to be on April 25th, but again, a lot of the fights were canceled due to the COVID scare and a lot of the restrictions with UFC and them being allowed to host events. So one of the main stories here is Carl Robinson forced out of the fight with Marlon Vittori. So according to Guilherme Cruz of ESPN, Robertson was scheduled to face Marlon at the ViStar Veterans Memorial Arena in Florida, but fell ill after his weight cut. Robinson was the only fighter to miss weight on Tuesday, so they actually had to cancel that fight. So the Carl Robertson and Marlon Vittori fight was actually canceled. They actually had an altercation after the weigh-ins when the fight was canceled. You'll see on YouTube Marlon Vittori in the hotel lobby kind of mouthing out at Carl Robertson. I don't know exactly what was said. The audio is kind of bad, so you can't really make out. You might be able to make out a couple sentences, but I wasn't able to get that much from it. But there was an altercation, not just a verbal altercation, in the hotel lobby after that weigh-in where the fight was canceled. And obviously, Marvin Vittori is upset. That cost him money. He had a whole camp to kind of get ready for this fight. So I understand the frustration with a fight getting canceled because, Carl Robertson is saying that he fell ill, after his weight cut. That means that he wasn't close to making weight and that they were trying to, do a lot more than what was needed. And he just couldn't make weight and, probably felt real shitty after trying to do this weight cut. Which, could potentially happen if you're not on top of it. But the results for the main card, I will go through that. So Michael Johnson versus Thiago Moyes. And hopefully I said that right. So Michael Johnson actually lost by submission in the second round. And Thiago is now 13-4 in the UFC. Again, making strides, solid record, making his way up into, just making some progress. Former champion Andrei Arlovsky versus Felipe Lins. So this is Felipe Lins' UFC debut. He was 14-3 as a mixed martial artist before this fight, but he ended up losing by decision to Andrei Arlovsky. So back to the drawing board for Felipe Lins. But as you guys know, when I was talking about Dan Ige, he also lost his UFC debut, but then strung off 6 wins after that. So Felipe Lins, again, there's potential there. Obviously, you don't want to start off your UFC debut with a loss, but again, you take that on the chin. Hopefully, he learns something, come back stronger, and put some wins together. Ricky Simon versus Ray Borg. So, Ricky Simon actually got the decision in this fight versus Ray Borg. Ricky Simon, his takedowns were probably the deciding factor in the fight. He was 7 of 11 on his takedowns, and he broke a 2-fight losing streak and then breaks Ray Borg's 2-fight winning streak. So a lot of winning streaks being broken, which is good, at least for Ricky Simon. 7 of 11 takedowns. I mean, that's pretty dominant. So that's a good fight for Ricky Simon. Again, I believe he lost to Uriah recently in one of his last 2 fights, but him getting a win versus Ray Borg is definitely a way to get back up because he lost 2 fights coming into the fight. So Ricky Simon, again, very entertaining fighter, very high tempo. I like watching him fight. Alexander Hernandez versus Drew Dober. So Drew Dober won by TKO in the second round. Dober is now on a 3-fight winning streak. Striking looked excellent in the fight. And he did well against a dangerous Alexander Hernandez. So Drew Dober, again, 3-fight winning streak. You start putting these winning streaks together and you start moving up the rankings. You start getting your name in that title, contention, or just getting your name anywhere near, being able to compete for a championship. The co-main event, Ben Rothwell versus Ovince St. Preux. This was an entertaining fight, if you like stand-up fight. So Ben Rothwell actually got the decision after 3 rounds. Ovince St. Preux, again, these guys are veteran guys, a lot of fights under the belt. Just a very entertaining fight. I don't think this fight had any, championship implications, but again, very entertaining fight for a fight night. And then the main event, Anthony Smith versus Glover Teixeira. Domination by Glover Teixeira. I mean, striking like crazy, crazy power. Ref stops the fight in the 5th round after he gets a full mount on Anthony Smith. There was some calls from the commentators for Anthony Smith's corner to throw in the towel, but Anthony Smith, if you've watched him fight, he's a warrior. He doesn't want to go out that way. He wants to go out on his shield, which is respectable, but at the same time, you need to protect the fighter. And, this could have been one of those situations where they could have threw in the towel. He was getting beat up pretty bad. So Glover Teixeira, old faithful right there. Again, domination by Teixeira, striking insane. Thanks for stopping by. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button for more fire sports takes. And for those of you who are on the go, make sure you subscribe to our full show, which airs every Thursday on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, and a bunch more. Until then, I'm chucking it up, and I'll see you guys next time.